What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today, just now, the Crazed Shellbrute went live on most servers. This is the new primordial boss. It is a very special boss with pretty interesting mechanics, and I've already done a lot of research and brought you the top 5 teams right now. I will show you 3 of those and we'll discuss the mechanics in depth so that you can get the top loot right from the start. Starting off with the first team, let's do our first challenge. We'll start with the best in slot team right now and try to get the top loot there. Maybe let's take a small look at the rewards. Once again, there's a title, Clam Crusher, pretty cool. And for the top people, also the deep sea pearls and the special Clam Crusher title, which looks absolutely gorgeous. We have 3 battles today and we'll do way more, of course, in the coming days. So, formation-wise, I will bring you guys all of those formations down in the comment. When you want to check those out, you can actually copy the ID. I will put the ID there. I hope that works. Otherwise, at the end of this video, I will also show you the pictures for every single team so you can copy them easily. It is very, very important on this boss that you have the right positioning for every single hero, as this boss has a very special ability we'll talk about during the fights. Starting off with the team that is currently considered the most meta team. It's actually this with Kruger and Lily May as a main damage dealer, so let's watch this battle. And as you will already see in a second, this boss will eat one of your heroes. And this is actually his ability that makes it very, very important to position your heroes in the right way so that this guy doesn't eat a hero you don't want to have taken out of the fight. So this is also why you should probably best copy the teams that I shown either from a picture or with the ID down in the comments. While you're on the way down there, by the way, maybe hit the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel quite a lot. More than most people think, actually. It is very, very helpful if you subscribe. And then we also see another ability. You see this shining wall sometimes around the boss. That is a special shield, and for this shield you need certain heroes that can deal very high damage with a single hit to break it, 300% or more of attack with a single hit. Not every hero can do that. Some heroes, especially a lot of the meta ones, hit the enemy multiple times. We could rank 1 there, perfect for the thumbnail actually. Let me scroll that down, nice. And for example, Lily May deals multiple hits, but none of those is over 300%. So we have to kind of see which heroes can do that. And in this team, for example, Kruger is one. We will show another team right now that uses a very different hero to get the same effect. Place 1 for the moment. Very, very nice. Will probably not stick for long. I just saw Shrimp running towards this boss from my guild, and he is certainly very strong. So, next up, I brought you guys a Wilder team. I figured we want to have a nice selection because Fresto at the moment is definitely meta. We have him in this team too. In the next team, we will show a team without him, because I know many of you guys went for Rainier at the start, and I wanted to make sure to at least include the Rainier team, even though this one and the next one are probably going to deal a little bit less damage to this boss. Brian is pretty cool here. He has some very high damage abilities, making it pretty easy to punch through the shield. Overall, we should mention there is a little bit of a discussion going on between using Resonance Spell and Verdant Spell. Verdant Spell gives Lily May some penetration, which helps with the giant defense of this boss. He does seem to have a lot of defense, making true damage the most viable choice. But of course, if you can reduce this defense through effects like Iron's Magic Defense Shred, or for example penetration through an artifact or something like this, this will make it a whole lot easier. And in this team we incorporate the massive hits of Brian together with a little bit of magic defense shred, the Wilder faction skill of course, which you should aim towards at least having 2 tiles. This is like the major requirement here. Towards these skills there's not really much more at the moment. The higher the better of course, but you should have about 2 at least the 2 tiles from stage 2, the effect we already talked about. If you have no idea about that, maybe check out the guide I made about this. We can see massive damage here from Frestos, we can see massive damage from Smoke here as well, and of course Lily May as our main damage dealer. Last team we want to take a look at, the one that I promised with Rainier in there, just to get a comparison, just to see if this is a viable option. We have a team without Pesto with Alfresto with Rainier in there. One is the Wilder version. It is considered to be a little bit better than the Mauler version, but you can run the Mauler version too. So let's use this version without Fresto and try to use it. We'll use the Resonance spell here. As I said, you can experiment with Verdant spell as well. Let's see what we do here. And you see Iron is eaten most of the time. This guy does deal a little bit more damage, I have to say. You can see that not at the HP of Brian and Lily May actually, because, well, those were on the Wilder tiles. Of course, they lose 50% of their HP. They are actually pretty healthy, but for example, Rainier there lost a little bit. And yeah, this can make it a little bit annoying. One thing to note, when this boss targets an enemy that is unaffected, so can't be inflicted with control effects, he will not eat it, but instantly defeat it. And this is something that you want to keep in mind. Can make it very difficult to use certain heroes like Lenya, or for example Shaki. Those become unaffected during times, and this will be a major problem for you. We're actually on a decent pace here. I mean, 27 billion is not quite as bad, have to say. Pretty decent damage overall. We're still place 1, which is rather nice. Maybe we'll take a look at the ranking for a second. We can see place 1 there. Quite the distance to the other people. Seems like Shrimp didn't attack yet, but that's alright. Maybe, usually, what do they recommend? Single high value damage, of course, for the shield. Frontal damage boost for our damage there. We have Kruger in here actually recommended. That's quite interesting. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, and there we also have the abilities. We'll go over that very shortly, as you already saw them in the battle. Opens Clamshell, middling a Dazzling Flash, dealing, well, a little bit of damage. It actually is a lot of damage. And there we have the ability that we just talked about. He grabs one of your heroes, swallows them for 40 seconds. And if the enemy is unaffected or steadfast, it will be instantly defeated, which is a problem, of course. We have another damage dealing ability. And we have this suction ability that I think we only really saw once. And it's when there are no adjacent non-summoned enemies. And this will inflict a stun. So maybe something to keep in mind as well. Something that makes melee heroes like Fresto, of course, especially good. And this water barrier is really important. If you can't deal with that, you will deal a lot less damage. You're reducing the damage taken by 70% while this is up, and this will go up every 10 seconds, and you need a 300% or more hit to go through that. Let's look at the teams. I actually did this in a little bit of another way because I knew we couldn't show them quite as easily, so I actually attacked in Dream Realm with that, so I can show you the formations right here. Starting off with the team where I said this is the best team. This is actually the formation for that, so if you want to copy that, this is something to keep in mind. It is required for you to use Fresto here with plus 15. That is something that you want to keep in mind and that you want to have here most definitely. In the copied IDs, you will have it a little bit easier as well. This is the second team that we showed. Looks pretty similar actually. I think I misclicked. Okay, small fail here. Small fail. Back to the start. Best team. And then we go to the next best team, which was the Wilder team, of course, that we showed in there. Wilder team with Brian over there. Pretty good team as well. Then for the next team, we had the Rainier team. Did pretty well, I have to say. Definitely better than I expected. And then for the next one, the Mauler version of the same team. We didn't get to show that. Of course, the damage numbers are from a Dream Realm fight. Don't take a look at that. Looks pretty similar. We use double support here. Mikula and Smokey. The combination is actually quite strong. You get your main damage from Lily May. Of course, some from Odie as well. Can work pretty decently. This team, I saw some good fights. It isn't quite as good as the other teams that we looked at with Fresto, but still can pack quite a punch. Zimbat in there might be a little bit difficult for some of you guys to build. I know not everybody summoned for him. I can totally understand that. I kind of like the dude though. And then the last team, it is more of a joke team, I tell you that. It is the Benuni team. Benuni, one of the major contributors that I think right now is a good time to mention, because all of that wouldn't really be possible without the people on AFK Analytica and the Analytica Discord that I mentioned in the past quite a lot. I will put the link down in the description. You should definitely join there. And they did so much testing before this boss was even live on the global server right now. They tested on the Viet version of the game and tested against this boss. It was Bacillus, Greeny, Daragon, Benuni, and I want to mention Puzzle, even though he isn't in the testing Google Doc. Puzzle, fellow YouTuber, you should check out his channel as well. They did so much testing, and it's actually quite insane how much they wrote in there. I tried to keep up. It is very, very difficult. Greeny actually helped me with putting everything together in the end and to select the 3 best teams. There is Chippy in here, by the way, and I want to give Chippy a little honorable mention before we go into the end of this video, because Chippy is actually not entirely useless here. He is, of course, super squishy, but fun fact, he is one of the viable heroes to deal a 300% damage. There are other ones, of course, that we mentioned, like Brian, like Kruger, in the teams that we showed, and this is just fun fact. Benuni team, the last one that I showed, of course, is more of a joke team. There is a bit of a more serious version of that, but you should use the viable ones that we took a look at. Let's check if we are still place 1 on this, or if we already got surpassed. No, still place 1 with the 3 teams that we tested. This one, last thing that we want to show, definitely the one that is the best. We only have level 17 here on the faction skills. Maybe we should take a look at this too. Not much skilled here, not even on stage 3. This is the extra talent buff tile that you definitely want to have, and it is just skilled like this. Pretty basic overall. So keeping that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel, because this will get updated fairly soon. Once those primordials hit the global server, there is an immense amount of testing done, and I have to say, during those times there is really so much change, and there are so many new teams that get developed, and I want to keep you up on date on the best teams, of course. So definitely make sure you subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get some high scores. Maybe post them down if you like this boss, and if you got some high scores, maybe let me know down below. And with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.